I'm telling you, man, I was fucking set up. Okay? Now let me paint the picture for you here, alright? God creates me first, right? But get this, he doesn't give me the knowledge of good and evil. So I have no idea the difference between good and evil at all. And then the very next thing he does is create Eve. And let me tell you something. Eve was fine as hell, man. God did that shit right. You could tell he had been thinking about it for a long time. She had big old titties, a little tight waist, a big butt. She was like pow, pow, patow. God looked down upon what he had created, and it was good. But for some reason, he decided not to give Eve the knowledge of good and evil either. So pretty much, both of us were just naive idiots, man. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then he points over to this tree and he says, you see that tree over there? That tree is the knowledge of good and evil. That fruit on there is mine. Don't eat that fucking fruit. If you eat that fruit, you're gonna die. It's poisonous. And before I continue on with the story, I just want to jump in here and say something. Now, I may not be father of the year, okay? My kids had some problems, I admit it. But I'm smart enough to know that if you're a fucking parent, you do not put your children, who you love, in the same place with fucking poisonous fruit. I mean, God is always referring to himself as our father and our parent. What kind of parent in the right fucking mind leaves their children in the room with fucking poisonous fruit? I mean, that's just parenting 101, man. Crack a fucking baby book, okay? So back to the story. Me and Eve, we're just wandering around the Garden of Eden like the two dumb fucks we are, until one day I couldn't find Eve and her fine ass. And of course you guys already know where I found her. And she's all like, Adam, you gotta try this shit. This is the best fucking shit ever, man. And then I hear another voice that says, yeah, man, you gotta try this shit. And I look over at the tree, and hanging from a branch is a giant fucking talking snake. It was trippy, dude. Really trippy. But look, I was a total idiot. One look at Eve and her fine ass and those big titties, and I didn't stand a chance, man. I was a goner. I mean, what was I gonna do? This bitch was fine. What am I gonna say? No, I can't eat that apple because God told me not to. I mean, I would sound like such a fucking dork. So I did what I had to do. I ate me some motherfucking apples. And I gotta tell you something. Those motherfucking apples were the best goddamn apples I ever had in my life. That was some good fucking fruit, dude. I promise you, man. We both had 4 or 5 apples each. And then I took a bunch of apples off the tree. I made a pile out of the apples. And then I fucked Eve on top of those apples while the snake watched, man. And it was awesome. It was the best sex I ever had. It was freaky sex, man. It was the forbidden knowledge of good and evil sex. It can't get any better than that, I can assure you. But when God found out, he was pissed, man. He threw a hissy fit. You know, I tried to apologize. I said, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I had no idea the difference between good and evil. So you really can't hold me accountable for doing something wrong when I didn't know the difference between right and wrong yet. But he was all like, fuck that, man. I told you not to eat my apples. I told you not to eat them. Those were my apples. They were my property. I told you specifically not to eat them, and you ate my apples, and fuck you, man. You gotta get your ass out of here. You gotta get out. And I was like, really, dude? Seriously? And he was like, totally seriously. You and Eve get the fuck out of here right now. And that was pretty much it. One strike and you're out with that guy. That guy has got some freaking issues, man. So as his firstborn, let me just tell you a little secret about our father. He is a fucking dickhead, man. He set you up for failure to begin with, and then he blames you for not being perfect when he created you imperfectly to begin with. It's a fucking no-win situation with this guy. What a fucking cockgobbler. So look, I'm sorry about original sin, okay? I'm sorry. I think it sucks that God did that. I think it sucks that God is punishing everybody who ever lived for some dumb shit I did when I was a kid. That's retarded. But don't blame my ass for that shit. Put that blame right where it belongs, to the supreme cocksucker upstairs. I'm Adam from Adam and Eve fame, and that's the apple incident according to me.